Hello world. Gang, I just came back from a really exciting walk. So many things. Okay, well, hold on, let's get a little smoke going. What download first? Okay, we'll start with the more practical one and just bang that one out of the way. So they were showing me an image as well as they gave me a statement of don't micromanage the healing. And they were giving, for me, it's a really kind of an appropriate image because it's so true. They're giving me the example of like when you get like an ingrown hair or a zit or something. I'm a picker, guys. I'm not gonna lie. Like I had an ingrown hair here for like a week longer. I kept picking at it, but it's a great example because they kept using the term like excavate. Again, if I'm to be honest, oh my God, like one little ingrown hair and I excavated half of my face off to fight a hair. And that's what they were kind of showing. They're like, you're actually doing more damage by excavating. So meaning this, what can sometimes appear to be like great healing, like all eyes on the prize. We're gonna heal. And not to say that you shouldn't be doing some healing, but the other thing that they pointed out is the language that it's not healing. You're already healed. Everything that's out of balance, anything that is to be considered needing to be healed, it's a voice to something that is out of balance, and it just requires your attention and mindfulness. So they're really, okay, I gotta take off these glasses. Okay, there we go. Also, I apologize, guys. When I get a sinus infection in this sinus, which happens all the time because I was in a bike accident and I broke this cheek. And so I get these little shards of bone that just make this cheek sinus go crazy. So in extreme cases, I put cayenne in my nose. It helps, it really does. And I've just put some in there, so things are about to get wild. Okay, yeah, here we go. Buckle up, buttercups. Okay, so where was I? Stupid sinuses. It's because I started to feel the burn. Oh yeah, people are feeling the burn. Oh fuck, my guy. What the fuck were we just talking about? I have to stop this video and replay it. Okay, we're gonna move along. Oh, yes, healing. Sorry, guys. Jesus, Murph. It's also, a lot of downloads come in either when I'm driving, I'm walking, or I'm just like, things that will kind of bring me to the in-between. But like walking, and it was like such a gorgeous night, and then the last part of my stop was the cemetery. Ooh, okay, we're gonna finish up on the healing though. Okay, so yes. So like, don't stop wanting to heal things. Like healing isn't bad, but they're more just trying to, there's this idea that going back to perfection, imperfection, if we're not whole, if we're always having to perfect something, to heal something needs to be fixed. We're inherently always broken. And it's just like, no. Because everything goes back to, it's just information. So like when your body's sick, like my sinus, like all of my body stuff right now, it's just trying to tell me about a bigger conversation that needs to happen. So, you know, it's multi-layered, but they were really just showing the example of like the excavating, but then showing the example of like, if you were to have a little seedling that had just cracked, and that's your healing journey. If you were to just stare at that seedling all day for hours, just staring at it, being like, heal right now. You're healing. We're healing all the things. We're doing all the, like, are you healing enough? Like, you know what I mean? Like, nothing's gonna, space between the oneness. Bring some attention to something, put some focus on it, and then step back. Again, going back to efficacy. The feminine and the masculine. Receiving and then applied action. Sitting back and staying still and receiving, and then going out and applying some action. Because they're really showing that in some ways you'd be better off to like just take off, get out those freedom toes right now. If you have some available grass right now, or even just out in the backyard on little, even cement, get those freedom toes out. I don't know, have a chocolate milkshake. I'm a chocolate guy. Maybe you like strawberry. I don't know. But like, anyway, I'm not sure if you're, for me, I get the whole thing. They show me pictures, I hear things, but then I get the feeling of it. So like for me, I can really, I hope that makes sense. So if someone's really locked into the healing journey, girl, guy, give yourself a break. Have a hot dog about it. Literally, go have a hot dog about it. I fucking love hot dogs. Oh, I love burgers too. Oh man. Whatever your food choice is, go have a hot dog about it. Like, go kick up those legs, get those freedom toes out, and just don't worry about whether you're healed or not. Like, you're good. And every day's a new day to, again, do a little bit better. That's all you can do. Just do a little bit better than the day before or the moment before. Bring a little bit of attention to it. And also, like, fill up those cups with joy. Oh, man. Freedom toes in like, nice soft grass. The perfect sky. Oh, perfect cool breeze. And then, yeah, like a milkshake or something. Yeah. Anyway. Okay, so there's that. And then I had taken a random different street and this restaurant, like just kind of like a place I just was not expecting this. It was very residential, but yeah, this restaurant, Rumi. And I was like, oh my God, I love Rumi. Oh, so they were pointing out that, again, love will always find you in the most unusual places. Not where you're looking, not when you're expecting it. And kind of like that night of the full moon that I had all those downloads, but one of the things that they told me was just like, when in doubt, look up. And every time they tell me to look up, when I hear, I'll be doing something and they'll be like, do this thing. It's usually like look up or go down this street. But every time, there's always something pretty miraculous. So I was like, okay. But then, before I had seen or gone down this weird street and just happened upon this place called Rumi, I was walking past this computer store, fix-it place, with like literally the oldest collection of computers. I saw the computer I grew up on. They're not even called Macs. It was the Macintosh, the really small one. For me to play Double Dragon as a kid in 1986, I'd have to put in a big fat floppy disk, and then I would have to put in this crazy line of code and multiple lines for different parts just to get into the game. So I was like, okay, so what does this have to do with the message? So someone's gonna, and I had this in the other reading, someone's gonna communicate in a really old school way. But really, old school would just be using a telephone or like a letter. Oh man, I was just talking about that good friend of mine. Back in the day, it wasn't even just like letter writing. In my scene, it was like the package. It was like mixtapes, zines, like art projects. Like, oh, I have to get the cayenne's really kicking in. Hold on, guys. I'm gonna have to have a tissue to dab my nose. Oh, I apologize, but man, if you ever have a sinus infection, oil of oregano, garlic tea, get a little cayenne in there. Oh, she works. Okay. So yeah, I feel as though this really archaic, or like the message is really, like to get to the thing, there's something about this communication, yeah, being old school, But then they were showing me like how I had to put in all that code just to play the game. That in itself is kind of a message. Maybe you're dealing with someone where it's like just to get, it's like a game, but just to get to the basics, you have to put in all this stupid code. Anyway, so I feel like for some of you, there's going to be some kind of communication. Keep hearing old school. Yeah, love's about to find you when you least expect it. Also, I did a video this morning, and I kept hearing Justin Timberlake's Cry Me a River. And then I went out to the world to do some errands and do some stuff. And normally I always have my big white earphones on. I'm always locked in. And I just so happened to not, I had to go to the post office. Excuse me, speaking of old school. Oh my God, as a side note, who knew that fucking stamps really have gotten so expensive? Whatever, that's an aside. But yeah, so when I walked into the post office, the song, oh my God, sorry, Justin Timberlake's Cry Me a River was like blasting. And it was at the part that I kept hearing the most when I was doing the video. So for me, it's confirmation. Like, and then, okay, it's gonna tie in to the last part when I went to the cemetery. Oh yeah, here we go. Dad's getting hot. Okay. Oh, the passion. Okay. So I'd already gone for a pretty big walk. And I ended up by the cemetery, but because the sun was setting, I went in through a different entrance. And because had already been walking for a while, I was kind of thinking about some of my own stuff and some dirt-kicking snakes in my life as it pertains to my family and the really big dirt-kicking snake. And so anyway, I set that aside, go into the cemetery, take a different route. And I'm going through the more Jewish side of this part of the cemetery. There's like the Protestants, the Catholics, and the Jewish side. And so I'm just having a nice time walking, and then again my attention's being drawn. I look to my left, and right there is a tombstone with my family name. Now, not the current name that I have. That's the name I gave myself when I legally changed my name. I want nothing to do with my family. But all the messages today, everything was around the 27, which equals 9, which is the ending. It's the end of the line in traditional numerology, because then you go back to the 1. And I just really have been feeling like all these terrible human beings that are like fucking around with people, they're being dealt with. Anything that's been really challenging for you in your life, things are done. Like, things are done. So when I saw this tombstone, and what was so interesting too is that our family name got slightly changed when everyone came on the boats and came over to Canada, which is pretty common. That happens a lot. So it was the traditional way of writing our name from the motherland. And what was even more interesting is that every tombstone, besides this one, had the date of birth and the date of death. And this one didn't. And I think a lot about generational trauma. And, kind of this intersectionality of like spiritualism, but also like Western psychology. Oh dear. Oh, here comes the cayenne. Oh, here we go. Working with that fire. Get it out. Yeah. Got a cleansing. Invariably, at some point in a long history of just even one side of the family. Now, before kind of my severing of every family member, like we're done, it already occurred to me that it would really be on me, especially if I had children, and if I kept our family last name, that I would only be the one to carry it. Like all the cousins, my sister, she has her dad's name and then her husband's name. Like, there's no one else to carry the name. I would have been the last. I'm also the black sheep of the family, the truth teller. And you hear about it in both spiritual communities, but also in Western psychology, of like, there's a point where finally the cycles get broken. The family line dissolves. It dies out. And like anything that dies, there's new life. So it just had been so crazy though, because the whole walk I had been thinking about and having conversations with these people in my mind, and then to stumble. And it's crazy, I spent all my time in the cemetery. I've never seen our family name. It's a pretty rare, especially for this city, because it's not French. Yeah, and it's not an Anglo name either, so it's very rare. And the fact that I never go to this part of the cemetery, it was literally just an instant, like, the sun just happened to be shining in this one spot because there's a mountain, and the sun was setting, and I was like, oh, this spot is the most, I always follow the sun, I'm a little sun chaser. So I followed it, and I just saw this tombstone, and I was like, it felt really symbolic for the whole message, which is what I've been hearing, is that like something is done. It is final, because I kept hearing in another reading a couple of days ago, like, congratulations. Like, oh, my Lanta, this is done. And even just from, oh, and then the other thing I saw, okay, so after the cemetery, I went to my favorite tree. I was going to do a reading, and I even recorded a little bit because I got to my favorite tree and the sun was setting and it was like all on my face. I was really feeling myself, especially after seeing that tombstone. I was like, yeah, good riddance. Like, I bid you adieu. I bid you adieu. Oh, just because they're family means shit. Like, do you know what I mean? Like, the person who birthed me, to me, is just really a suitcase. A suitcase of how I came into this world, nothing more, nothing less. Just because someone, you might share a little DNA, does not mean that you'll know your people. That's why people call like extended friends like the real fam, you know? Blood means nothing sometimes. Hand to God. Hand to God. So anyway, point being, I was really feeling great, where I was like, oh yeah, like, I couldn't be, this feels significant, like, yes. Oh, yes, mama. Oh. And then, yeah, sat under my favorite tree. And, oh, what was the other? I was gonna pull cards. What was the other one? Spirit, help me out here. Help my brains out. Where were we going? We had one more. It'll come to me. Maybe I should have a sip of coffee about it. Hold on. I'm trying to do the full circle here. The ending. Oh, there was something more. Okay, it'll come back to me. Either way. Something about lemons. I had a lemon muffin this morning, and I'm drinking sparkling. Oh, and that's what happened. Okay, so going quickly to lemons. So they're pointing out these two energies, because one person is about to have their ass handed to them. That's right. Yeah, whoever has been a real pain in your ass, real crumb bum, to say the least. That's putting it very, very nicely. Oh man, they are so handled. So with the lemons, what they're showing is that the one person, again, the alchemy, You've taken lemons and you've really made lemonade, and it tastes sweet. Oh man, what a delicious cup of lemonade. And this person is about to have a long, hard suck on the most sour lemon that they've produced. These are the lemons that they've grown with their shittiness, and now they have to have a long, hard suck on it. They don't get to transmute it. They have to suck on it as is. And then, as I was getting ready to do this reading, my YouTube channel was just randomly open, and it started to play a tarot card reader, which is like, yeah, predictable, but it's, I didn't pick it, it just started to randomly play, and this woman was like, I don't know who needs to hear this, but someone in your life, you're about to get a phone call that whoever this, my version of a dirt kicking snake, like, someone has been arrested, and I've been saying this for like a million videos now, that one of you gets to have a rest and one of you is getting arrested. Could be spiritual jail, but I think for a lot, it's actually like real jail, like real jail. Anyway, and then when I was coming home, there's a big cathedral, and I love looking at the steeples. That's just a given. But they were like, look up. So I was looking up, and the way that the steeple was, there was like 5 big pointy prongs, and then they just kept showing the person that's getting their ass tossed by spirit. It's like this person is falling on grace, from grace onto the 5, and the 5s are always about change. But when we get to like the 5 of swords, the 5 of wands, the 5 of cups, it's ouchy. 5 of pentacles, the 5s are hard. Someone's getting impaled, and with that hangman, like someone in your life who has been distressing you for some time. And I'm really speaking to those in the crowd where like, these people are unhinged. I call them Delulu with the loose screw for a reason. I've done a warning video because these are the people who stalk, who are abusive, who are violent, who are like truly. You can have a light pain in your ass too, and I'm sure they're gonna be handled, but this is really for like, again, big guns. We got out the big black candle. It's for the real sick fucks. And just because I'm woo and I'm a hippie and I believe in love, like, my guy, I'm here to tell you, I've seen some of the worst. I've met and lived and have known some really dark people. So like, it is not lost on me that these people still roam the earth with us. And some of us get to experience them, and then they fucking hang around. Oh, like the bed sores that they are. That's what they are. A bunch of bed sores. Ooh. Okay, well, let's just pull. I was working a lot today. The old St. Germaine and I always say violet flame. I wish violent and violet had a little bit more separation between, other than an N. So I feel as though, and it's funny because I had on all my purple garb, and I still have some purple shorts on, but I highly recommend for this time period. Let's see what Saint Germaine has to say. Saint Germaine. I was actually learning about him. Oh, maybe I should go because I get terrible with names. Okay, long story short, there seems to be throughout history the Count of St. Germaine, who kind of sounds vampiric in the sense that he has been noted throughout history. He never ages. He's shown up. Everyone talks about him in literature. Like, it's like, he really gets around. But apparently, it all started with the curse of Jesus. St. Germaine was a fellow whose name starts with a C. Anyways, when Jesus was carrying his cross, his big-ass heavy cross, and took a pause because it was hot as fuck, and we all know how it goes when you're about to be crucified and you have to drag your own fucking cross in the desert. Sometimes you get tired and you just need to pause a second, have a hot dog about it. Well, anyway, when he paused, this real fucking dink, his name starts with a C, basically it was like, if you have time to lean, you have time to clean. That kind of like, just because you're about to be crucified, there's no excuses. Like, pick up your cross, let's go. Was being a real dink about it. And then Jesus whispered something into his ear, something to the effect of like, you can't, it was very biblical talk of that time, but something to the effect of like, you are not going to be able to die until I come back again. So this sets the tone of how basically the descended master becomes an ascended master. Because really it sounds as though St. Germaine was a bit of a bed sore himself. But look what he did with that curse. Jesus really gave him a blessing, and so then he spent thousands of years. He was there everywhere. So again, if you don't believe me, just go look up the history of like St. Germaine. You'll get a really great story. It's just beautiful. But what's great though, and because he has links to having been Merlin, all these people, yeah, it makes me think a lot about our potentiality. Like, again, going back to like a narcissist. You don't even have to be a narcissist. Let's just say a really evil person. Like, we're talking like maybe you've murdered people. You've done really bad things. And we've seen this in some of the Buddhist stories too. I think it was Malripa, the murderer who had murdered like thousands of people. That, again, there's nothing that can't be healed or changed when you come in with like truth and right intention. So yeah, like anyone can ascend. And in fact, if you have been the terrible person going around doing really harmful, depraved things, it actually requires way more work, I would say, to do the right thing. So like the opportunity to, again, to kind of ascend quickly, like if you were terrible, but the thing is, these terrible human beings, they rarely, very rarely, like, it's not even recidivism, it's just like, they fucking love their dark, stinky holes. They don't really see a point in changing, they just fucking love it down there. But should they want to, I just feel like, yeah, the courage it would take to be that honest and to be able to hold the magnitude of the impact and harm you had done, and to be able to absorb that wholly and not only forgive yourself, but then to be a living amends and to step into that authenticity. So that's the thing, you know, the descended master, like, fuck, they could just shoot right up to the top. They could pass, you know, some of the other ascended masters, but it requires a fearlessness that most of these dark fucks don't have. Anyway, I digress. But we saw it with St. Germaine. Oh, and I love Jesus. Jesus, I'm telling you, he was sassy. He was a little bit of a sassafras. The guy's dragging his cross. He's about to be persecuted. He has time to stick it to, what's his nuts? Beautiful. Okay. St. Germaine. What deck would you like to start with? Do I want a deck? I think you're just being encouraged to go explore this relationship without me talking. I think it's very individual, but what I can tell you is that I always have a really delightful time with St. Germaine and the Purple Flame, and I love that it rhymes a little bit. Yeah. If you need to feel good and connect to something right now, I would recommend St. Germaine. He's really coming through. And purple, the royal colors. Start working with the royal colors. Like if you have a deep purple, put on some deep purple. The deep blues, navy blue. The dark greens, like the royal colors. Yeah, I realize I don't have enough royal purple. I need more of that in my life. Oh, I really started to, as I was working with St. Germaine today, and all the purple, but I was like, I just pictured all these fabrics that I wanted to start working with, where I was like, oh, I might just give up traditional clothes and just start wearing some weird, I don't know, some sarongs, deep purples. I don't know. Oh, wait. Sorry, guys. I'm going to swing real quick back to the cemetery story, because there's that one last part. So after I see the tombstone, I'm coming back around to go home, and the other person that I've been thinking of, like my main dirt-kicking snake, someone had taken a chainsaw and cut into this tree and kind of cut it off, and there was this big stump, and then they like put in the first letter of my dirt-kicking snake's name, big fat E. I was just like, interesting. There's just been so many serendipitous moments today, but they all tie into this reading, a very collective vibe. And I love when I get the double confirmations, like if I'm talking about a song and I never ever hear it anywhere else in the world, and it's been years, and I've just been talking about it, and I just so happen to not have my earphones on, and that's the song that's blasting. Oh, yeah, what goes around and around and around comes back around. That's the thing. These spiritual laws, said in the other video this morning, there's man-made laws and there's spiritual laws. And you might think you're clever enough, because maybe for a bit of time, you got away with it. Got away with things. Oh, one thing I've learned to be true. The spiritual laws. Can't run from it. Maybe even if you do get away with it in this life, I'm telling you, you will never outrun it. The things that you do, the ways that we impact people, places, and things, the way that we leave our mark, whether intentionally or not intentionally, we all have to be accountable. And I just feel like there's a lot of people right now that have really, just like Jesus on the cross, just being forced to carry your own stupid cross by all those dinks, everyone persecuting you, and you're all hot, you have no energy, and the cross is heavy, and you still have to go up a big stupid hill, and everyone's spitting on you, and you stop for a second to just catch your breath, and then some asshole is like, keep it moving, and you find the strength to curse them a little bit. That's cool. Anyway, I just feel like there's a lot of people in the crowd that like need a fucking break. I'm just here to deliver the message. Like the message just, and I could feel it. It just felt like a veil was lifted while I was walking. And I was like, this is the collective, this is the energy. Yeah, I don't think we're gonna pull any cards. I think these are the downloads. These are the messages. St. Germaine would love it if you chose to work with him. I would recommend it. It's a delight. Working with all different types is a delight, but yeah, I would just say if you need to feel good, if you want to feel good and connect to something really powerful and can shift things quickly, and purple, yeah, just work with the royal colors right now. Go talk to St. Germaine. That purple heart aflame. Okay, yeah, we're just gonna keep it to 35 minutes. We don't need to listen to me yammer on. It's a basic message. Things are ending. Generational curses and family lines and all that bullshit. Done. You are free. Yeah, you're like the Cat Power album. You are free. Ooh, if you need an album to go listen to that album. That's a great album. Yeah, you are free. I don't know about you guys. I can breathe so deeply right now. Even though I have a lot of physical pain. That physical pain. Oh, this last of this weird cold flu. Oh. But even amongst that, oh, girl, I feel amazing. I feel amazing in my heart, my mind, and my spirit. Physically, just recovering. We're getting there. We're getting there. Oh, maybe some of you want to take up jogging, even if you hate jogging. I hate jogging a lot. I prefer skipping. Again, efficacy. Why jog for 45 minutes and blow out your knees when you can do 3 minutes of skipping, have a fucking ass like Beyonce, cardiovascular through the roof, 3 minutes in the morning, 3 minutes before bed, or run up a hill. But I'm just seeing, again, being really, I see someone running and feeling really good. And again, I am not really inspired to run, but even today, and I did some sprinting. Yeah, maybe one of you wants to get out there and just fucking run because it feels good. Not running for anything else other than like, even just sprint. You don't have to run far. Just go fucking sprint somewhere. Ooh, it feels good. Again, get into your animal, you know? Ooh. Go chase down these motherfuckers. Okay, well, yeah. Oh, you know what that is? Okay, one last message, then I'll go, because it does actually tie into a message. I was hearing it in the cemetery, because that's how I'm feeling now. It's like someone doesn't want to go, or someone doesn't want you to go, but not in the dirt kicking snake way. Because what I kept hearing in the cemetery is like, someone just really wants like their best friend, or like there's this emphasis on like the friendship, or like they just miss you. It feels romantic, but the emphasis is like they just want to talk. They just want to talk all night in the way that you do with your best friend. So yeah, and this like lingering, it's like, you know, when you kind of meet someone and you do start off as friends, like maybe it's someone in like your school program at work or something, and it's one of those kind of social dynamics where maybe there is kind of like a time thing, because like you are at work or you have to go to your next class and you're really like, oh, I don't want this person to go, or I want this, or I don't know, there's a missing. Someone's really missing someone, but it doesn't feel like an old person. It feels like new, or maybe someone like just wants a friend. They feel like they don't have a friend, or all their friends that they have right now are just stinky minkies, you know? I've said this in another video. I don't talk about as often as like people getting arrested, but nothing beats a best friend. And if you are looking to date and meet the soulmate, make best friend is like the first part of the caveat. If someone doesn't feel like they're your best friend, I don't know. Because I think having a best friend that then becomes your person, your lover, your partner in crime, your forever person, kind of great. Can't go wrong with a best friend first. Anyway, so someone's missing someone. I don't know what that's about. Well, maybe the old school communication. Making a package for someone. Yeah, going back to that. Yeah, taking the time. Oh, man. I've sent everything in the mail. Huge packages that, like, today would cost, like, $110 to send. Yeah. Maybe you need to make a package for someone. Someone that you love, or a friend. New friend, old friend. Maybe you want to be a pen pal. I don't know. Like I said, some of my best friends in the last few years have all just been, like, trees, animals, and people who are above 80 years old and up. And that's a great crowd that gets overlooked. Man, you want to have some fun? Go find you a really interesting old person. They know how to get down. And like myself, they're up early and they're sundowning and in bed also very early, you know? Great stories. Yeah, old people. Okay, we're done. I'm gonna let you guys go. Okay, well, great things are on the horizon, folks. Ooh, if some of you do have people that get arrested, I don't know, just put like a handcuff emoji or something. It's so strong. It's just coming through so strong, and it has been for a while. I'm all here for justice. Okay, bye.